Hey everyone, how you doing today? Thought I would start the video today with showing you a bit of an atmospheric look of what I've got done on the interior so far of this POI. Now I've got a good chunk of the exterior textured now, or most of it, except for the next process is going to be replacing some of the blocks with either damage blocks or combat steel blocks for different access to textures, possibly some wood blocks too in certain places. But inside, I've been really working on the grounds area, not the interior of the building itself, but the general look of where the like market area would be in here. And I got a couple little shops in here that are going to need some LCDs and stuff yet. And it kind of walks around this outer rim here, ultimately going to the sewer pipe that leads out of the base. You kind of see what's going on here and how this is looking, and I really love it with this particular weather and the terrain texture that I'm seeing here. The wet, muddy look that's reflective. I think that that really works out nicely for the at least this look of what I'm getting here right now. So as you walk through here too, it's going to obviously there's going to be a lot of stuff over there, but there's another entranceway that goes out this way over here as well. I got to get a railing there, so you can kind of see what's going on with that. And as a whole, more or less looking like this right now. So I'm gonna switch over to a nice sunny day here real quick. So here's what it looks like in the daytime. Um, some sun and whatnot on it. Now I got it just brought up off the ground right now, so I can obviously work on the lower blocks and everything like that on it. So that's pretty much what it's going to look like, more or less. I'm going to try to get some more detail and some other things into it, and like I was saying before, some damage blocks and some alternative textures with different material blocks, and then start jamming in on the interior of it, which is going to be kind of fun to do on this one because it's weird. Um, it's going to be pretty vertical, and the core will probably be ending up somewhere in the top area. And then after you get the core, I'm going to try to make a method for you to somehow get to the top of this and then be able to somehow get up to the crane, in which planning on having some kind of little room back over here that might have some special loot in it or something, but would be really hard to get if you came up, and try to land up here to get it. So I'm going to make sure that that'd be a nightmare if you tried and could easily fall to your death. But that's where that's at. Now, on the TIE Fighter thing, I started messing with this one, and I was just kind of messing around with like wings and wing layouts and what kind of weapons do I want on it, where do I want the turrets, and I chopped off the existing wings that were there already, just sort of rebuilding them. And then I was like, well, maybe I'll just start over. Um, so this is the next version, I guess you can say, and I'm trying to get the aesthetics a little bit better on the wings and also fit in a lot more parts to actually make this thing function. Now, what I've got going on here is 6 Gatling guns, 4 standard rocket launchers. Now, I was taking a look at the rocket launchers. The standard rocket launchers actually cost a little bit more CPU than the homing rocket launchers, but they do a little bit more damage and require a lesser player level. So it's kind of weird. I, for some reason, thought the homing rocket launchers were all around better or the same damage, but that's not true. Not that the homing rocket launchers are that much weaker than the standard ones, but they are a little bit. So if you're going after fixed targets like this is probably meant to do, you won't really need the homing rocket launchers, and I'll go for the increased damage that these can do. Now this is also running 6 turrets, and all these turrets are positioned in a way right now where they can fire forward and also cover the sides. Now I'm trying to keep all thrusters and parts away from the cockpit area. So that's why I've got everything positioned out on these wings. The big problem I've got right now is it's CPU. Actually, I wanted originally for this to be a tier 3, but with the loadout I'm putting on it, plus I wanted it to have a shield and nice and maneuverable, I don't think tier 3 is possible. Looking at what I've got right now, I threw on a shield there as a placeholder so I could see the CPU with it. And currently, yes, I'm slightly below the tier 3 cap, but keep in mind, no storage, no rear thrust, no generators, nothing else. And this is just the raw parts, and I actually wanted to up the strafing thrusters on it as well, and the lift thrust. So I have a feeling that whatever I'm building here is going to end up being a tier 4. And I might even make these wings a little bit further out yet. Then I got to figure out how I'm going to get this thing to land. And talking about all the sensors and well, the triggers from parts, this would be a perfect example to have the landing gear retract when the turrets retract when the landing gear come down, at least on the bottom. So I'm going to try to make a method for that to happen, and then figure out where I'm going to get the landing gear. They might be somewhere on the side over here. Now, actual TIE fighters in Star Wars have a big advantage, and that is the fact that they don't have bazillions of little thrusters all over the place. So that's just something I've had to mess with trying to get this to, obviously with Empyrion, you got to have the thrusters. There is no other propulsion means in the game besides thrusters, so there's no nacelles or whatever Star Wars uses, which I'm not even sure. I'm sure it's been explained at some point in time, but yeah, some kind of anti-gravity technology that they have there. So that's kind of where I'm at with this right now, and it's early work in progress. I was just trying to get the shaping, the general aesthetics, try to figure out where I want the guns, where I want this thing to do, and to get an idea on where it's going to come out on CPU. And unfortunately, it kind of blows right past a tier 3 creation because of the weapon loadout mainly that I'm running on it, plus, and then combine that with a shield, and then try to get some reasonably powerful thrust on it, and then you're automatically into tier 4, which yeah, if it was close, if I had about 5,000 CPU left over right now, I would really try to go for a tier 3, but I don't, and yeah, there's just no way. I mean, if I kept it without a shield, yes, it could be a tier 3, or maybe I'll go for an upgrade option. Maybe give it a place where you can put a shield and some stuff and release it as a tier 3, and it'll work. And then when you want a shield, you put one in and you upgrade the tier. So that's about it on what I've been doing the last couple days. I did want to show some of this, but this took I got a video of me making what I've got here, but it stretched over an hour, and yeah, some messing with stuff and changing stuff and moving stuff and changing some stuff some more until I can get like this basic prototype, I guess, and then try to make it aesthetically pleasing somehow. And I'm using some weird blocks here too. I'm trying to get this TIE Fighter look with these thin walls. Fortunately, I gotta deal with those ridge lines in it because there's not like a block that'll work on the other side and keep it smooth. But I don't really mind the ridge lines on it. At least they're in a formation on both sides, which is helpful. So as in release schedule, the Skaar Bago. God, maybe I should change the name. I keep on saying it wrong. Um, the Skaar Bago, short for Winnebago, not Bago. It's not a Winnebago. It's a Winnebago. Well, anyway, I'll get this out this weekend. I think I pretty much got it ready. I don't even think there's anything I need to do with it, sensors, LCDs, or whatnot. I think it's just ready right now. So unless I look over it and see some little detail thingies I can do, but I literally I can't add a single block to this ship because then I'm over CPU. I mean, any block. Um, it's just the tightest thing ever if you look at that. I almost want to make it a perfect 20,000, but the only reason it's not right now is because it was telling me that it was over CPU when it was actually in CPU. It's just a weird story. But yeah, that's what's been going on. Most all my effort has been put into this building though. And I'm really liking it. And with the video or the other little video I showed at the beginning here of seeing this kind of in a stormy, different alternative planet setting, really like how that looks and how everything kind of goes through. And I was debating whether or not, obviously to have a floor in here, but I like the look of certain grounds. But like the ground that's here right now, not so much. It's desert. Maybe if it was a different desert, maybe that would look alright too. Get the right lighting and the right mood and everything. But when these things spawn out in the real world or in the game world, I don't think you really get to pick what kind of planets they spawn on, or maybe there's an option for that, because I mean I would want Skaar stuff to be spawned on, I don't know, either like some wastelands, like what I showed in the first video, very nasty planet, muddy and dark and damp, and or like your desert, like Tatooine kind of environment. So what this default one is neither. It's not Tatooine or it's not the other, so it doesn't really look super wonderful here, but at least when you're walking around at night with the ground, still works. So still works. All right. Well, anyway, you all have yourself a good weekend, and I'll probably be back Monday with show you some updates. I did want to get into showing you some more builds, like actual building, but man, those videos just stretch a long time, and I want to explain what's going on, and then I'm dealing with like videos that are an hour and a half long, and I don't want that either. So it's rough with Empyrion that way. The alternative is to do the high speed videos. Someone that was in Empyrion let me use that account for the game when I did a couple of those Creel Space Station videos. But that person has left the game, and I don't really feel comfortable using that account for it anymore, so I haven't been doing those. And I don't actually have another account to do like the co-op thing needed to make those kind of high-speed videos. Maybe I'll work on that in the future, though. Anyway, y'all have yourself a good weekend. I will see you later.